Hello, this is Artifact with you. Today, I'm going to try to survive 100 days in Minecraft. This video was recorded on the latest version at the time, which makes our challenge even harder in hardcore mode. One more mistake, and it's all over. My goal during these 100 days is to get as strong as possible, build an amazing base, and defeat all the bosses in Minecraft. I should also mention that I spent a total of 10 days worth of hours making this video. Out of all the videos I've made so far, this one was the hardest. That's exactly why I want to ask you to subscribe to the channel and like the video right now. If everything's clear, enjoy watching. Let's create the world. Ready. After I spawned in, I noticed not only the super saplings, but also the hardcore hearts. Well, it's typical and also really scary. After that, I decided to craft some stone tools. We're playing hardcore on hardcore mode. First, I got some iron and, for some reason, set my spawn point. Like I said before, this is hardcore, so first and foremost, I need to focus on my own safety. That means I'll need diamond tools. Enchanted, if we can. There are 3 ways to get the tools we need. In the first method, as strange as it may sound, we use the enchantment table to enchant all the diamonds we smelt. As for the downsides, it takes a lot of time and is extremely boring. On the plus side, it's a much safer method. In the next method, we buy everything we need. We enchant the tools at the levels that come with the set. One of the downsides is that it's extremely boring. On the plus side, you end up with another group of upgraded villagers. In our third method, we get everything from the end cities. He's lying there, stuck. The downsides are that it's extremely dangerous, and we'll also have to deal with the dragon. On the plus side, it's the fastest way, and we'll also get wings. I think it's pretty clear which method I've chosen. Yeah, grinding for 1,000,000 years every day. No, of course not. Our goal is to defeat the Ender Dragon and get everything from the end cities. Once the goal was clear, I decided to sort out the food situation. For that, I needed to find a village. Honestly, I don't even know how to explain this. I kept wondering if I should go in or not. I don't think it was a good idea. After hearing that sound, I was completely sure. I decided to come back to this castle later, once I was better armed, and continued on my way. On the road, I came across some edible food and used it to make myself a bed. This will definitely come in handy. First of all, I thought it would be great if I could find a village, so I picked up my boat and set off. Village. But it's definitely not useless either. Among the useful things, there was iron and a helmet enchanted for breathing underwater. This thing is going to be really helpful later on, especially when it comes to looting ships like these. And then, a treasure map. Finding the treasure wasn't easy. I even found more sunken ships on land. After reaching the marked spot, I dug at the chunk's 99 coordinates, and there it was, the treasure. And it really turned out to be a true treasure. 3 diamonds, 7 iron ingots, a bit of gold, and some food. Awesome! After that, the first thing I did was, of course, craft a diamond pickaxe. I also skipped through the night again. At that moment, I noticed a light in the direction of the game. I crafted myself an axe, a bucket, and some boots, then went to check out the source of the light, and as I expected, it turned out to be lava. Considering what I had on me, I could already go to the Nether at this point. But before that, I gathered a bit more food just in case. Enderman is coming. Using my diamond pickaxe, I made furnaces out of smelted stone. I probably don't even need to explain why. Then, I decided to build the portal speedrun style, just for fun. Come to think of it, when will we get this? Even though I almost set myself on fire, the portal was finally ready. I grabbed everything I needed, took a quick nap, and then headed to the Nether. Well, not that even just for spam. I might even say it was awesome. Before setting out to search for the fortress, I went back to the overworld to get myself some golden boots for protection from the piglins, and a shield for protection from everything else. I also gathered a few more building blocks from trees. Well, now it's time to really take a look. I memorized the portal's coordinates and set out on my journey. To be honest, finding the portal was no problem at all. It only took about 2 minutes. At that moment, I really felt like luck was on my side. I took care of an Enderman and then stormed into the fortress. Well, all that's left is to find the spammers. A few minutes later, the spammer was also found. I prepared a spot to escape if needed and jumped into the fight. I'll leave this part without any commentary. I managed to survive again by quickly surrounding myself with blocks. I tried to grab it again in that spammy place, but it was useless. All in all, 7 of them are enough even for a kid. Now it was time for the Ender Pearls. Good thing I was in a place with trees. I placed the magic boat on the ground and started killing Endermen. I call it magic because it was like it had a magnet. The Endermen would come right up to it on their own. In the biome I was in, I had no problems with the Endermen at all. After pulling off a few epic moves, I easily collected the pearls and returned to the portal. When I got back, it was nighttime, so I decided to skip it. You might be wondering why I keep skipping the night. But try to understand my side too. This is my first time playing on hardcore. It's really scary. I put all the unnecessary stuff in the chest, then crafted myself some Eye of Enders. I had no idea what the pictures meant in Uzbek, so I just headed in the direction the eye pointed. We finally reached the destination. Now all that's left is to find the portal here. It doesn't do it too much. At that moment, I remembered I was playing on the latest version, so I quickly crafted myself a bundle. Yes, you heard that right, they actually added those to Minecraft. To be honest, it's actually more useful than I thought. If you need something, you can easily grab it. In the library chest, I found a pattern to decorate banners. And in the second chest, there was an awesome enchanted book. That's it. It's awesome. I think finding the portal frame here is even harder than finding the place itself. The portal already had 2 eyes in it, so as for the rest. Well, good thing I brought more than enough with me. So, I activated the portal. But it was still too early to jump into the portal, because I don't even have a bow yet. After memorizing the portal's coordinates, I got into a boat and set off. Of course, you can defeat the dragon without a bow, but it's definitely going to be harder. Also, I wanted to defeat the dragon not in the usual way, but by using a glitch at my house. And for this, 100% commitment is needed. While searching for a village, I also looted every ship I came across. At least I managed to get a full set, even if it was just leather armor. To be honest, I spent a really long time searching in the village. Also, I would need a lot of blocks to defeat the dragon. After pulling off an awesome MLG, I spotted a ruined portal. After doing another great MLG there, I checked the chest at the portal. It's hard to say there was anything useful in it. Alright, let's keep moving. I was also able to find another newly added biome. The reason this biome exists in my world is because, before showing you, I learned to enable some experiments while creating the world. Anyway, I chopped down a few trees and made myself some nice white boats. Maybe it doesn't have a magnet, but I think it's a bit fancier. As for what happened next, I don't even know how to explain it. Yeah, another castle. And just so you don't think everything is staged, here's the real state of the world. You can check it out for yourself. For some reason, I keep getting lucky with castles and fortresses, but I've never had any luck with villages. Just when I started to think there were no villages at all in this world, I finally found one. After restocking my supplies, I crafted a fletching table and turned the first villager I saw into a fletcher. He broke a few workstations, but eventually started selling me the items I needed. I used the emeralds I had collected from ships up to this point to buy as many arrows as possible. I haven't forgotten about the commoner himself either. I quickly skipped the night and headed back to the fortress. Good thing I had the coordinates saved. I came back. Just in case we managed to defeat the dragon, I also placed a bed near the portal so it would appear there. Obsidian would be necessary for my plan to defeat the dragon. I crafted myself a new shield, made sure I had everything I needed, and jumped into the portal. When we appear, we need to build straight up. All the way up to exactly 135 blocks high. Now, we build toward the center of the island or the 0 coordinates. Once we arrive, we place the obsidian and face it. If the coordinates next to us match exactly, then everything is correct. We move a little away from the obsidian and place water on top of it. Done! Our construction is now operational. Now we just wait for the dragon to get caught in our trap, while also trying not to fall ourselves. After a few minutes, the dragon fell into the trap. How does this work? The dragon wants to go down, but the water keeps pushing it up. If you did everything correctly, it won't be able to get out of here at all. Now, we just shoot more than a stack of arrows at the dragon. Let's take a commemorative photo and give a big thank you to knighting. I learned this method from this person. The dragon's death doesn't mean it's over, because the most interesting part is just beginning. I went down using the Ender Pearl and collected all the levels. These levels are more than enough to enchant everything. Let's not forget about the dragon egg. So, like I said, nothing is over yet. In fact, everything is just getting started. We still have a lot of adventures waiting for us ahead. Now, let's jump into the portal. Reading subtitles is definitely interesting, but we've got some important battles waiting for us. Now we're jumping into the portal again, because if you remember, our goal in defeating the dragon was to get to the End City. Well, I hope I don't get lost along the way. A perfect escape. Now, we need to look for the End City. We'll climb as high as possible, set the chunks to maximum, and scan the surroundings. Why am I getting so many apples? I borrowed an Ender Pearl from the Enderman and threw it. I don't understand myself. Is he coming to get me, or is he not coming? I don't get the logic here. Do I need a castle, a mansion, or a village? Just keep searching endlessly. After dealing with the gatekeepers from a distance, I entered the End City. If only it felt like home, right? This End City turned out to be so small that there isn't even a single chest in the main part. At least I'll get the wings, I guess. After dealing with all that trouble, I thought I finally got what I came for. But there was almost nothing there. Well, at least I'll get the wings. Where are your wings? Here are my wings. And I haven't forgotten to grab this head, too. Since I didn't have any fireworks, I just climbed up higher and set off, and a little farther away, I found 2 more End Cities. One of them even had a ship. Things were a bit better on this ship, because at least there was 1 instant health potion. Of course, I didn't forget the wings. While I was looking for the entrance to the city, this happened. Thanks to my wings, I was faster than the Enderman, so I decided to move away a bit and fly up to the top. But one more hit and the Enderman would have ended our adventure. At that moment, I got so anxious that I even left the world. If I'm not mistaken, the Enderman also fell down here. But this time, unlike me, he didn't have any wings. After that, I tried to be more careful. But did you notice that? For example, I didn't notice it at the time. I just kept doing my thing as if nothing had happened, which means looting. Because this city was so big, the danger here was also pretty high. Everything was going well. Then suddenly, the Enderman actually made it down. Good thing I had tried opening my wings, otherwise I definitely would have been smashed to pieces. Knowing that you get 3 seconds of immunity right after entering the world, I decided to leave and come back, and quickly surrounded myself with whatever blocks I had. Luckily, the Enderman wasn't there at that moment. That mischievous Enderman just didn't want to come to me for a long time. So I used my IQ and forced it to come to me, taught it a lesson, and finally opened the chests. There wasn't anything too great in there, but there were some things. After building up higher, I set off on my way again, and believe it or not, after just a 30-second flight, this appeared in my path. I think I have to explain this. In Minecraft, end cities spawn along straight lines. So, once you find one end city, if you fly straight ahead, you can find the next one too. Both of these chests had elytras in them. Awesome! I've almost completed the whole set. I even managed to get 3 pairs of wings at once. When I checked the chests in the city, I thought, is this a chest just for shovels or what? I was able to find all the parts of the armor except for the chest plate. I decided that this much was enough, since I was also running out of blocks. If I were to return home, it would probably look something like this. I farmed blocks, built my way out, flew basically. I repeated this process several times and finally made it back home. Except, I don't actually have a house. Well, since I now had enough iron, I crafted myself an anvil and put sharpness 4 on my sword. Knowing that every stronghold has 2 libraries, I set out to find them and managed to find this one. Then I found the library as well. There were also 2 more chests here. Surprisingly, there was almost nothing valuable in either of the chests, and I finally realized I should craft a shield. Why didn't I make one all this time? I also grabbed a few books for myself from the library. Yeah, just a little. After gathering everything I needed, I crafted 2 fireworks from the gunpowder and set out to find a place to call home. To be honest, with wings, this wasn't a problem at all. Well, this place is absolutely perfect for my home. I also tried to craft myself a hoe again. Yeah, I tried, but I didn't succeed. After that, I discovered the dumbest thing in Minecraft. I also tried to make a bookshelf. I think after all that traveling, I was pretty tired. No, I'm just really exhausted. That's why I decided to get a little sleep. Also, in order to be able to fly as much as I want with my rings, I needed the mending enchantment too. Before 1,000,000 years had even passed, I got that enchantment, and then, all of a sudden, I bought 2 of some really amazing things at once. I'll need it later, so I'll keep it for now. Without even thinking, I put the first one on my rings, and now I definitely won't lose my base anymore. I put the second book review on my 40s and later regretted it. By the way, for those who just arrived from the moon, let me explain how this enchantment works. To put it simply, this enchantment repairs your items using your experience levels. You only have so many levels, so how much should you actually use? That's why I decided to make myself an enchanting table. But for that, I'm missing 2 diamonds. To find the diamonds I needed, I couldn't think of a better idea than breaking Minecraft's first rule. And it worked. Too bad there were only 2, but that's enough for me. Everything was going well, but then suddenly I was attacked by a trident with 3 prongs. I couldn't figure out where the attack was coming from, and because of my wings, I couldn't swim. After the second shock, I felt like my trip had gotten old. One more strike from the trident, and I would have been done for. That's why I decided to use my old tactic. This time, when I went in, I took off my rings, because they were the reason I couldn't swim. Hearing the sound of tridents flying past me, I headed toward land and did my best to get out, and I managed to do it. And on my way out, I came across an endless coal vein, which was quite an interesting event. I got some gunpowder from a creeper and made myself some fireworks as a little celebration. And then I realized that the only thing I was missing to craft an enchanting table was obsidian, so I set out to find it. That wasn't difficult. I decided to mine enough obsidian to build a portal at the same time. But where's the old one? No one knows. I've gathered everything I need. That means I can finally craft the long-awaited enchanting table without any problem. I didn't want to just place the enchanting table in the middle of the street. That's why I decided to take it up to the top of the mountain. I think it was a good idea, because there's plenty of space here and the view is beautiful. As soon as night fell, I went straight to sleep. I'll still need the villagers in Miss Village in the future, so I trapped a few of them. Hopefully, you won't forget that I'm hiding you here. No, because if you say the reason, your reputation will take a hit. After setting up chests in the base, I made myself some bookshelves. You understand what I mean, right? I thought it would be a great idea to set up the enchanting table inside this mountain, and I think it really was a great idea. I was short one book. Of course, 15 bookshelves are more than enough to reach level 30, but it wouldn't look nice. The anvil also fits perfectly in one spot. Now, just as I was about to start enchanting everything, I suddenly remembered I needed lapis lazuli. Luckily, there was some of that on the ships too. But I'm sure the amount in this chest won't be enough. I also made a grindstone to remove unwanted enchantments. Yeah, don't be surprised about the grindstone. As for these diamond pickaxes, I decided to just combine them, because when they're combined, they become perfect. But I had to enchant the rest of the items from scratch. You could call this my diamond gear. I even managed to enchant my bow with infinity. Since I couldn't enchant my diamond shears for obvious reasons, I decided to make iron shears, and for the first time, I really understood how they work. Except for luck being only level 2, the shears turned out perfect. I even got pretty lucky with the boots. Now I definitely won't burn out. Then I crafted another bow and enchanted it too. Power 4, if you combine these two, you basically get a Terminator. After that, I fell asleep. I ran out of lapis lazuli, but I still have some levels left. So I decided to do a little bit of mining. Luckily, I managed to find some lapis lazuli in a random cave. But on the other hand, I lost my way out. Even though it was cold, I still did an important upgrade. I also put my perfections together. Now with this, I can do a one-shot as well. There's nothing cheap left to enchant anymore. That's why I enchanted whatever was visible. The combination is at level 26. If we swap it, it's level 12. It's almost the perfect weapon now. All that's left is to add the mending enchantment. To be honest, at this point I was starting to feel the most helpless, except for the lack of diamond halves. That's why I'm heading down to the mine right now to solve this issue. Before I could even reach the right depth, a creeper was already waiting for me as a surprise. So, with the Fortune 2 enchantment, how many will I get? From 5 diamond ores, I got 11 diamonds. It doubled the amount. Yeah, honestly, I'm not too happy with the enchantment I got. I went down pretty deep and started digging right in the middle of the tunnels. Barely 5 minutes had passed when I found more diamonds. I was feeling disappointed thinking there were only 2, but then I found another one hiding nearby. This time, it was 3 diamonds from 3 ores. I just can't figure out how this luck thing works. I decided that this many diamonds is more than enough for me. Yeah, when you dig such a deep mine, seeing something like this is pretty unpleasant. You either have to dig out a whole layer above or below. Or, you could just do it like this. Now, this is for those with an IQ of 100 and above. Don't worry if you don't know what IQ is. No, actually, you should worry. Now I can easily make a diamond helmet if I want. But now I've realized something. I don't even have level 30, do I? Well, maybe I'll save up enough someday. With the remaining diamonds, I made a diamond block. While mining, besides diamonds, I also dug up some iron. So I smelted those too. And again, I couldn't hold myself back. I went ahead and made a diamond pickaxe, but I still can't enchant it yet. Alright, so we've enchanted the weapons. But is this the maximum? Of course not. Our goal now is to strengthen them to the point of Nezareth. So, what do we need for that? A smithing table, diamond gear, the netherite upgrade item that was added in the new versions, and netherite itself. You see, we don't have surveillance equipment. There's nothing special about the diamond gear. But the other two. Let's start with supervision. There are many ways to find it. I've chosen 3 methods. The first method is to dig with a diamond chisel enchanted with the magic of dexterity. The second method is to blow up the nether using TNT to find netherite. The third method is boom boom boom. The use of mattresses also means that they explode, and this can be controlled. The first method doesn't really have any advantages, and its downside is that it's extremely boring and not very efficient. The second method's advantages are that it's super efficient and a lot of fun. But the downside is that you need a ton of gunpowder. But we don't have that much right now, so we'll save this method for the future. That means, for now, we're left with only one optimal option. Alright, as we said, we're going to need a lot of beds. For those who don't know, here's what a bed bug looks like. First, I took care of the wood issue, and that was really easy. Now, I need to solve the wool problem. And for that, there's nothing easier than building a sheep farm. Let me repeat for those who didn't catch it. This is a sheep farm. Now all that's left is to bring a few sheep from nearby and start breeding them. So now, all I have to do is breed them and regularly collect their wool, simple as that. While waiting for the lambs to grow up, I decided to do some trading with our old friend. There was one particular book I was interested in. After marking about 500 trades, he finally started selling the book, though he was a bit stubborn about it. To keep our friend from changing his trades, I sold him a bit of paper, then crafted a fletching table for myself and immediately gifted it to him. Thinking about what a good person I am, I started selling sticks. Thanks to the gunpowder I collected from creepers that were left behind off camera, I made some rockets and flew into the forest, and that's when I discovered that there was another village just 200 or 300 blocks away from where I live. Even better, there were giant trees there. Now it will be easier to chop them down. That's why I chopped down 2 of them. When I returned to the village, I accidentally slapped my friend again. After that, he raised the prices. I should also mention that during all this time, I didn't forget about the sheep either. In other words, Grandpa Jubilat is gone. By this time, I had collected the required 35 Zaburatham, and finally, I was able to get the magic book I wanted. For those who don't know, let me briefly explain why this magic book is so great. Now, it has become almost the perfect, well-functioning one. Also, placing the portal right here seemed like a brilliant idea. But since the portal turned out to be bigger than expected, I had to go mine more obsidian because I didn't have enough. Anyway, the portal is ready, and in my opinion, this turned out to be a fantastic design solution. Of course, during this time, we still need to build some incredibly amazing things. But for now, we're talking about something else. By this point, I think the amount of resources collected was more than enough. By the way, the enchantment I put on my sword earlier increases the number of drops from mobs. So, for example, you can get up to 5 drops from a single pigman. Life hack, if you hold the enchanted sword in your main hand and the bow in your offhand, the enchantment will also work for the bow. For my plan, this much should be enough. I've got fireworks, I've got sheep, I've got everything I need. Now I just need to go to the Nether and blow everything up. But before that, I decided to run to the fortress we found at the beginning of the video. Because I was afraid I might die in the Nether without a totem. Ah, if only I didn't think so recklessly. Knowing how far it was, I grabbed all the wings I had. Well, I hope I can completely conquer this fortress. By the way, I've already marked that place. Alright, the castle has been found. Good thing I wrote down the coordinates, otherwise with all the trouble I went through to get here, I almost lost all my wings. Getting back is going to be a problem, so I started clearing out the castle slowly and carefully. To be honest, at that moment I was really scared. It felt like something could jump out and attack me from every corner. Even if someone is really brave, it would still be tough. After a while, I finally found what I was looking for and secured the area. Well, now I have a totem. I can finally relax a bit. Wow, in my world, that's how totems looked. While I was being taken to this castle, only one question bothered me. Why was this guy working so hard? Well, now you have your totem. Why isn't it leaving, you might ask? That's right, I wanted to do the same, but I was told these totems are used less often. But I regretted it. See for yourself. I solved one, thought I could handle the second one too, and I actually could. But at that moment, the second one benefited and... I think you can guess how I felt at that moment. After something like that, of course, I had absolutely no desire to return to the castle. So, after taking one totem, I should have just left. Apparently, it looks like I ended up walking home again empty-handed. Of course, the idea of leveling up from turtles came to mind. But I'm not that ruthless of a baby. That's why, with the last bit of health I had left, I grabbed all the wings and decided to use more solid to get as close to home as possible. On the way back, I first spotted a post. After I killed the big one there, the one with the flag, I didn't get any effect at all. The reason is that in the new versions, the effect just isn't given anymore. Before, you would get a container like this, and after drinking it, you'd get that effect. I actually got the highest level red container. Level 5. I should also mention that I've never gotten one of these in my life before. And it was on hardcore mode. After barely making it back, my wings were completely broken. Luckily, there was only a little way left to the base. After returning to the base, I managed to fix my wings a bit by using some sticks. For some reason, I decided to start a raid again. Yeah, a level 5 raid, on hardcore mode. What I'm building right now is so the raiders can easily be shot with a crossbow. After building a few of these structures, I decided to start the raid. As expected, there were no problems with the first wave of the raid. In the second wave, there were noticeably more raiders, but that still didn't save them from my crossbow. Tanks were also added at the 3rd level. But since I was fighting from a distance, that wasn't a problem either. Even finding the raiders didn't cause any significant issues. I even deprived them of their retreat zone. In the 4th wave, shamans were added, and I think there were even more raiders too. But still, nothing could stand up to my crossbow. The 5th wave, this time, witches joined in as well. I felt that victory wasn't guaranteed, but I managed to neutralize the witch from a distance. That is, right now there's a totem lying there. It was good that I went and picked it up. As you can see, even in this situation, when the totem is on the ground, I could easily go and grab it. So, I think you understood what happened, and this is how that person turned out.